Hello, and we are live. There. No. There. Okay. Welcome. Another watch chat. This week, GMT is going to be the topic. We've got lots of nice GMT pieces here and a mystery piece, which you may or may not have discovered what it was from the entry from the thumbnail. So we'll see how it goes. And we were talking about these watches and GMTs in general. You can tell the time on them. You can actually do other things with them. Well, mainly one thing that's not telling the time. And we have our usual guest, well, not our usual guest, who was here last time, Derek. Hello, Derek.
Hello, everyone, and Gigi.
Okay, how you doing, bud?
Thanks for having me back. Doing well.
Okay.
About the same as last week. Still traveling around down in Florida for about a month, doing some scuba diving and some work.
What's it like scuba diving in Florida? Is it like really clear water? Is it a great place to scuba dive?
It depends on where you go. Yeah, but last weekend went down to the Florida Keys, like Key West and Key Largo area, and it's probably the clearest water I've ever seen. It's very similar to Mediterranean waters from what I've seen. So it's that crystal blue paradise look that you see in the movies. Wow. It's pretty good.
Great. Do you get to see like any sea wildlife that's used that sea life in Disney?
Yeah, saw a couple of sharks. Which can be scary but exciting at the same time. So some nurse sharks and a Caribbean reef shark. And I actually saw the reef shark while we were sort of lost. So it added a little bit of scariness to the situation. But we made it out alive.
Great. From what I know, sharks don't actually attack humans unless they feel threatened, or, I mean, they're not really... They say actually, yeah, they don't actually like human meat very much. They spit it out.
Yeah, I think that is the case. But, you know, we grow up with that fear of sharks and Jaws and all that. So even though you know that in the back of your head, when you first make that encounter, it's a little bit like, it's a little worrisome, you know?
Yeah, I'd be scared. But yeah, I've seen Jaws about 100 times, so I don't think... it's a great movie. I mean, it's not very, true to life, but it's a great movie.
Right.
Okay, so I haven't been up to much. I'm dropping this video. We will find out which watch it's going to be soon. So we're going to talk about GMTs a bit. Now, not your usual type of watch. I mean, you're into dive watches mostly, right?
Yeah, I'm mostly a dive and field, maybe some military type watch kind of guy. I do have a couple of GMTs, but I don't have them on me. But we can discuss them when we get there if you like.
Yeah, I've got 3 of my own, and I mean, I don't know. There's something about a GMT, that extra hand that gives you, the splash of color to the dial, or depending on how the dial is set up. And I don't know. So I bought one. Oh, that's nice. Let's buy another one. Okay, but you never. Okay, I got 3 now. So. I never travel, so it's not very useful right now, is it?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I have a couple of them, and I end up not wearing them that much because I like to use it. I like to use I like to dive with my dive watches. I like to travel with the GMTs, and for the past year and a half, we haven't really been doing very much of that. And traveling from New York to Florida, I'm still in the same time zone, so I can't use one for this trip either.
Mm-hmm. Your video's a bit choppy, I'm afraid. I don't know if it's the connection or otherwise, but...
oh, sorry.
That's not your fault. I don't think it's your fault. It may be something down my end. Okay, sometimes it pauses. Just let me check if I can do something about that. Just give me a second. I'll just try something really quickly. Otherwise, whatever. I mean...
I got full bars on my side.
No, you should be okay. I think it's the computer I'm getting your feed on is stuttering a bit. Okay, we'll have to live with that. We'll have to live with it, whatever. Okay. Anywho, so let's dig in to the watches. Let's have a look at these little things. Little, not very little actually, because, well, some of them are pretty darn large. Actually, this one is enormous. So, let's have a look. First up, Grand Seiko SBGN005. This is the watch that you're going to love the least because it's a quartz watch. But as you can see from here, it's the only one that's got the right time on it. All the others are completely like off. I couldn't be asked to put them on, you know, to set them. So there we go. And this one, I mean, I bought this watch, set it once, changed the date every now and then, and there you go. Typical Grand Seiko like finishing, which is absolutely awesome. Bracelet's well finished, bit simple, nothing special there, simple clasp. And it's got these wonderful hands. I just, if I can get a little closer, this camera. Okay, there you go. I think you could cut yourself on those if you're not careful. And you can't really see it in this lighting, but it has got a blue dial. It's a very dark shade of blue. A bit of sunburst effect when you take it out into a natural light. So this is the smaller of the three. Let's measure it up. I think it should be a 39 if I remember correctly. That's, yep, 38.8. Mm-hmm. So it's the most wearable of the three. I'll put it on just for reference. I have an 18-centimeter wrist. And this is the really useful GMT. Set and forget. There you go. Not bad. Even if
you know, people do, you know, sometimes hate on quartz. I feel like in the past 5 years, the watch community as a whole, it's kind of come around a little bit on quartz watches. But for GMT, I think it makes a lot of sense as far as just pure utility, in the sense that you never have to worry about it. It's just always going, and it's always correct.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of you open your watch box, you pick it up, and it's, you know, it's on the right time. So you can't get any better than that. The just for anybody who's watching, and right now I think it's like 0, but for everybody who will watch it in the future, because our other video, just incidentally, it's getting a lot of views. It's my best live. We've got over 100, and they're watching it after. So okay, so if you're not in live, no problem. If you're watching later, thank you. And there are two types of GMT. They call one type a traveler's GMT, and the other type a caller's GMT. Now, what's the difference? A traveler's GMT, I'll show you now, has a jumping hour hand. So if I unscrew the crown, okay, you can set it, but you can set the hour hand, the normal hour hand, independently. Now I've lost the time, but so no big deal. But you can set it independently, and the GMT hand you have to set by normal setting means, so just turning the whole of the movement. Now, why is this? This means that you set your home time on the GMT hand and your local time on the normal hour hand. That means when you travel, you change your local time without stopping and hacking the movement. That's the idea behind a traveler's GMT. Let's move on. The other type is called a caller's GMT. Well, the Oris is a caller's GMT. I'll show you what the difference is. Other piece, big and chunky, Black Bay GMT. Now, this is kind of the Pepsi you can sort of buy, right?
Yep.
The Pepsi you can sort of buy. Let's get a little. Let me just set something up. So you can. Let's do this. So I'll super source to that, and then I'll just change the view to the, where's that? Overhead. Here we go. So the Pepsi you can buy, but okay, this is a Pepsi Max. I mean, this is the size of Kansas. I mean, the watch it's pretty large. I mean, we got like 42 here, so I'll just try and measure it, see if I can get that in the camera. 41 and something. Yeah, 41. But that's not the dimension I was referring to. And this is a big slab, a big chunk of a watch. This is like 15 millimeters thick, if I remember, or over 14. 14 and a half, which is a lot. Okay. If I put this on the wrist.
Yeah, it's kind of in line with pretty much every Tudor before the 58s came
exactly.
out. They all have that thick slab.
And when you got it on the wrist, I mean, if you look at it from up here, no big deal. 41, whatever. But as soon as you turn your wrist, I mean, look at that. It pokes out like a sore thumb. Now, I still like it anyway. They've kind of worked it. It does sit okay. I mean, if you don't do this, it will sit okay on the wrist. And they've done a little magic here, a little beveled edge, which may not seem like much, but it does give the impression of the case being slightly thinner. And this actually has a rotating bezel. Now, the Seiko just had a Explorer type fixed bezel, so you can only follow one time zone. This has a bidirectional rotating bezel, so you can follow 2 extra time zones, one on the main dial and the second one by turning this, which is pretty cool. You have to be like a real globetrot to be able to follow, to need to follow two time zones, but then again, it may come in useful. And
globetrotter or a pilot.
Or a pilot. Yeah, but pilots have This actually, the story behind the Pepsi, the Rolex, was that Rolex made it for pilots, right? That was the main marketing blurb that came out in the 60s or the late 60s when they made it. Or the late 50s, I don't remember. You know, if you're a pilot, I remember the what's it called on the papers? If you were flying Concorde tomorrow, you'd be wearing a Rolex. You know, yeah. Okay, but they were good at their marketing job. I mean, okay, so that
and I think it's important to point out that this one is also a Traveler GMT, right?
This is a Traveler GMT. Yep, you can.
And it pretty much has all the features of the Rolex GMT Master II.
It has a longer
for half the price.
Yeah,
so.
And you can get it sort of. I mean,
and you can get it.
You can sort of get it. Yeah, it's a bit. You can if you ask, you probably a few months, not even maybe a month or two waiting list, you'll get one. But you can find them easily on Chrono at about list price, so it's not really. It used to be a rarity. There used to be few of them in AD's windows, but now it's sort of, you can sort of get one. And it actually has better specs than the first GMTs, because this has a 70-hour power reserve. Only now do the new Rolexes have the 70-hour power reserve on their movement, because they had the older one for 50 or 40 hours before they changed them to the new model. And I think it's still nice. I mean, Tudor knows how to style a watch. This isn't the original bracelet. This is a strap code bracelet without any rivets. Now, the original one comes with rivets, and I'm not crazy about rivets, especially fake ones. So I got this little thing, and it's well.
Yeah, it's a great watch. I feel like it's just that little bit of extra thickness that makes it not like a runaway hit. I think if they put out like a Black Bay 58 GMT, you'd never be able to find those.
Exactly, and that's why they're not making them.
Right.
Everybody, they're not making them because I think Tudor is one of those kind of subvert your expectations company. Everybody wants a baby, a 58 GMT, so Tudor's not going to get you one. They made a gold one, a bronze one, a silver one,
right.
A blue one, okay? But nobody wanted them. They want a freaking GMT. And it's not coming. So, Oh well, there you go.
Or then they'll throw it out there when we least expect it, probably.
When everybody starts saying, we no longer want a Black Bay GMT, then they're gonna chuck it at you, and there we go. But you have to admit, Tudor has dropped a lot of watches lately. I was surprised to see all this, movement in the Tudor area, like one watch after the other, which, I do like the bronze 58. It's a good-looking watch.
Yeah, surely.
Okay, so last one. Not last one. last before the last, one before last. Okay, this is a mouthful. The Oris, ProPilot, Big Crown, GMT, small seconds. If you can remember that, you can win the watch. Now, this is a big mother as well. Okay, this is 45, I think, or 44 and a half. 44 and a half. Ah, good memory. It's thick, but not as thick as the Tudor. But then again, no watches. Probably a Richard Mille is this is 12.8. And this has that pilot watch kind of look, which I think it's quite endearing. Has that orange tip to the GMT hand. Little small seconds is cute, but they do get covered up sometimes because when the hour hand is between 8 and 10, you kind of don't see them. Like, there you go. It covers it up. Color match date window, big numbers. You can read this even if you're like Stevie Wonder. And you can... this is, as we were saying before, a caller's GMT, where you set... Now let me remember which... Here we go. You set the GMT hand. So I'm setting it independently. So the idea behind this is if you have to speak for work, you have to talk to another country like Japan or somewhere, place far, far away, and you don't have an iPhone or a smartphone, you have set this. You set the hand to the GMT hand to the place you're calling, so you know the away time from the GMT hand. As opposed to the other watch where the GMT hand is telling you your home time. And just a few things about this little piece. Let's try and close it up. There you go. Has this kind of, I don't know how it will kind of, turbo little finishing on the bezel. Has a pretty funny back. I mean, it's got a very small it's got a very small movement, and they put a display case back which looked like a porthole on a submarine, or not a submarine, a porthole on the Concorde maybe, a little window. But it's a bit odd. But the nice thing about this is the seat belt kind. This is really cool. It looks like an airplane seat belt. To open it, you flip it. I really like this.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like, fasten your seat belts. Okay. And you can set it. You can set the length by pulling this little thing here. There's a clamp. You unclamp it and you get it to size. So that's the cool little thing about it. And there we go. So,
what's the water resistance on that one? Did I see you screw the crown down?
Yeah, it's I think it's 100 meters. Let me check the back. Yep, it's 100 meters. And
makes it a good all-around travel watch.
Exactly, you can get this wet, no problem. The Tudor's 200, so you could theoretically dive with it, I suppose. And the Seiko, I think it's 100 as well. Let me check that if I can.
Probably.
Yeah. It's I can't read that, but
we'll say 100.
We'll say 100. Okay, well, all the spec geeks can go on the Seiko website. It's linked in the description. Go there. Geek out on the specs. Okay, last one, mystery watch. And for this mystery watch, we need to thank, he's not a sponsor, but he's lending me all these watches. So, thank you so much. Grimoldi Watches in Milan. If you're ever in Milan, you or anybody who's watching or who will watch the video, this is the place you want to go where you find all the cool watches, which are not Rolexes or Omegas or anything else, but all the cool watches. Now I'm going to run a short vid so you can see what they have. They have Zodiac, they've got Bell & Ross, they've got Doxa, some wonderful diver watch. They've got Casio. They've got Oris, of course. I bought this the ProPilot. I bought them from them, and they've got basically, if you go there, anything that's not from the big groups they have, which is pretty cool. They're great guys. They love to talk about watches. If you go there and you show that you have a love for horology. I mean, the three brothers that work there, fantastic guys. Nothing is too much trouble for them. And, if you want to have a good chat, if you're in Milan. Otherwise, go on the website. They ship internationally. Try them out. They're really worth a look. And they lent me this it's not little, GMT. And let's have a look. Nope, we're not. Let's do it correctly. There we go. This is a Maurice Lacroix Aikon GMT with a white dial. And this is a bit of a strange watch. Now, styling is kind of Royal Oak, kind of, Gento-esque, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a GMT with a monodirectional rotating bezel, which is odd, to say the least. So that's pretty funny. But I don't know why they did that. Because I think they wanted to give this a dive watch sort of vibe, because it's 300 meters of water resistance. So this really can, you can actually take this to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. But it is a solid piece. Now, I can't convey this over video, but this is absolutely solid. The bracelet is fantastic. The clasp, I've still got plastic on, I can't take that off. The clasp is great. It has a quick release system, which is like, foolproof. Look at that. They have a range of bracelets you can change it with, just a few seconds. And it's back in, hopefully. There you go. There we go. It's solid in. It has a orange GMT hat. You can't see this much here, but it actually has a sunburst. It has a sunburst cream dial, which you can see in natural light very well. The inserts here are actually ceramic, so it alternates between steel, ceramic, and the ceramic parts have lume. We can check that later. The crown is screw-in, and it has a ceramic surrounding on it, a black ceramic surrounding. So it's... what do you think of the styling? I mean, would you buy a watch like this? Is it your style, or...
I think it's really cool. Does it come in other colors besides white dial? Do you know?
They have a black dial too with a red GMT hand.
Yeah, it's a good looking watch. I really like that integrated bracelet look. While it is a bit Royal Oakish, I'm probably never going to have a Royal Oak, so I don't think there's any
nobody's going to have a
worry any worry of it taking the place in the collection. So is that a travel GMT or a caller GMT?
This is a caller's GMT. So it's a Solita movement. So okay. I think the Solitas and the ETAs they're mostly caller's GMTs. But I think that looks pretty good. I look at this. I mean, I've worn it a couple of days, and it's a good watch to look at. You just look at it and wow, that's pretty good looking. And if you have a look at the hour markers, they're quite particular. I'll just close this up again. They're not the usual, like, let's move the microphone there. They're not the usual, like, round, or if you can see, they're round, but the lume plot is they're kind of scalloped at the edge. The edges are round, but they kind of go down the sides, kind of like a cone. And the lume is just a straight little piece of lume there on the markers. Even the 12 o'clock is not just a triangle; it's a truncated triangle with just a lume in the middle. So I've never seen hour markers like that. The hands remind me a bit of the Royal Oak, but you can't really do much. And of course, I'd like to remind anybody who's watching that I'm just about to drop a video review of this watch on my channel. It's nearly finished. I'll be dropping it next week with a lot of great photos, macro videos, and a longer review. So I won't dwell too much on it now. So if you want to see the video review, subscribe and hit the bell icon. You'll be advised when the video drops. But just, as a quick look at it like that, I mean, it's a great little piece.
Can I ask? It's hard to tell in the video, but is the case mostly brushed?
Let's have a look. It's a very fine brushing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this part here is polished. The bracelet is mostly, I'd say, brushed on here, and it has a little bevel here which is polished, and the sides of the link are brushed. And the side here is polished. It has that like little Maurice Lacroix logo on the crown. A couple of screws here that keep the crown guards in place. I think they're real. You know what's funny about this? It's a dive watch, but it's a screwed down back. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's not screwed in. It has screws on the sides. So yeah, usually, that's odd, because this is 300 meters. I will trust, that it will take 300 meters of water. But usually it's a screw. I'm not going to try it because it's not mine, of course. I'm not going to go back with water inside the watch. Oh, sorry, I tried it. I dropped it down. I dropped it inside a lake. But
I unscrewed the case back to see what was going on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this can't be right. But it could be, I'm not sure. It could be maybe a combination. No, it can't be a screw-in back because it's not completely round. That's why. If you look at the back, it's straight here, so you won't be able to turn and screw it in. So that's just a little curiosity for the real watch, a real watch nerd kind of thing. But there you go. And this is priced actually quite I think it's competitively priced. Taking into account the build quality, which is really solid. This is my first experience with the Maurice Lacroix, and I was amazed at how well it's built. At 2,600 euros, which is around close to $3,000. I don't know, 2,400 pounds, which is not bad. I think it's less than a Tudor GMT.
Yeah,
kind of long.
Yeah, that's on the high end, I would say, of Solita movement GMTs. But if you're saying that the build quality makes up for,
the build quality is amazing. Yeah, I mean, actually, Ricky from Scottish Watches. Hello, Scottish Watches. How are you guys? Ricky from Scottish Watches has the non-GMT bronze version of this, and I wrote to him and said, I just got this Maurice Lacroix. I'm amazed at how it's built. And he says, I felt the same way. I was amazed at how well it was put together. So
yeah, I think I saw you guys talking about that in our
chat. Yeah. So there you go. So it's up to now. It's your turn. What GMTs do you have? And we'll go scour over the internet for them.
Well, let's see. I saw you had the
Fairer. Yeah.
Fairer
I kind of you did tell me that. So I did kind of. Just to switch. I have to switch. So let's do this. Okay, set the box to. This is the overhead. We go to Mac right. Okay, so I just need to switch my view, otherwise I won't be able to. There we go. Okay. So
yes, if you can find, there's one called the Lander, which is the green GMT that they have.
What's it called? The Lander.
Yeah, Lander.
I think I'll just type that into Google. I'll just move my.
You could do that too.
Yes, easier.
Mm-hmm. We probably should have set all this up ahead of time.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Oh, this is just Solita. This is the ubiquitous Solita movement.
It is. So they're on version 4. I actually have version 1. And the main differences were mine does not have a color matched date wheel, which I've always been a little jealous of the later versions with their color matched date wheel. And in version 1 it was an ETA movement. So, but otherwise I think it stayed pretty much the same. So it's your basic collar GMT. But that green dial, they've made they made a chronograph with this colorway, which I think it was the Lander chronograph. So I think maybe that color is just what they call Lander. Okay. But it's a really interesting, like seafoam green. At some angles it's bright, at some angles it's deep. It's kind of, it's kind of the fairer, you know, when some people think of fairer, you think of that green color. So it's a really cool watch, and I like the orange, you know, touches on the second hand of the GMT hand. And they also sell a bracelet that goes with it. It's an oyster style bracelet for like another 150. So you get that whole package for about 1,600 US. I think it's a pretty solid deal for GMT.
Yeah, the bracelet looks nice.
Yeah, it's a really well-made bracelet, and I don't know what that clasp is called. Do you know what that
It's
is
a
called?
butterfly clasp. It just opens on two sides, right?
Yeah.
Like the one I had before. Yeah. It's that looks pretty. That's an excellent price. $140 for the bracelet. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it seems to be less than a lot of people sell their extra bracelets.
They're extra bracelets for. They usually you know kill you for accessories. And do you also have this kind of brown strap on it too, as well? Tan leather strap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a really solid. That was the first GMT I ever got, actually. So I think that's a really good, you know, entry level GMT.
Yeah,
and there's other colors too. If you want a more traditional color, there's a white dial and a black dial.
I've always been on the fence on Ferros because there's a great world timer they make, which I always wanted to buy, but I was saying it's like, you know, it's close, I think, to 2,000 or something, and I never bought it. Then it sold out because they are sort of limited editions, kind of, aren't they? They don't make a lot of them, and
they tend to make them. I don't know if they're limited. They kind of make them in batches.
They make them in batches, yeah.
They'll make 300 of them, and then they come out with Lander version 2 and then version 3. So you can usually get one if you stick around long enough.
Yeah. Yeah, and great. This is actually a wonderful little piece. How big is it? Let's have a look. Is it like 40?
I think it's 30, 38.
Oh, 38. It's on the smallish side. Okay.
Yeah. And it's not nearly as thick as the Tudor.
Yeah, the Tudor. I mean, that's like the thickest thing.
It's probably about 11 or 12 millimeters thick.
Let's have a look at some pictures. Yeah, look at that. The rotor looks cool, doesn't it? That wow. And do you also have a little cap on the crown, like the bronze cap, whatever that is, or the gold-plated cap?
Yeah, the new ones have a little bronze. I think it's bronze cap on mine. The whole crown is bronze.
Oh, the whole crown. Okay.
It's kind of a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this one fits pretty well in the you know, value proposition category. I think it's a lot of lot of bang for the buck.
A lot of bang for the buck. Yeah, I would agree with you. I agree with you. Great stuff. And what's the other one?
The most recent one I got is the Baltic GMT.
Baltic.
It's the Baltic Acquascaphe GMT, but you can probably just type Baltic GMT.
There you go. The volume. Oh, wow. Is this it? The green, the one with the green and.
No, I have. There's 3 different colors. I have that one, the blue and gray one.
Wow. Now this is also, look, on the back it has like the world timer kind of.
Yeah,
it tells you.
It's sort of like, you know, we talked about Unimatic last week, and you know how they always have a bunch of stuff etched on the back that you can't really make sense of or figure out how to use.
Every watch has a different back and is like, what's this? Okay, I have to study.
This one has a lot going on the back. But you know what? I will say, interesting piece of trivia to Baltic's credit, the watch shipped with a misprint on that case back.
Really?
Where they said one time zone was like +2 when it was actually -2. So they shipped out everybody that bought them new case backs free of charge.
That must have cost them a lot of money.
I left the original case back on it, but I have a new one in case I ever need it to be 100% accurate.
But is that like, I don't know if you ever heard in stamp collecting that there's stamps that are printed badly. They have like the number inverted or something. They're worth like a crap load of money.
Yeah.
So this could be like the defective. I want the Baltic with the wrong case back because they were only in the first batch.
Exactly. That's what I'm hoping for. Fingers crossed.
Become a collector's item. And this is priced more or less like the Fera. This is 1,123 euros. The Fera was $1,200, so basically more or less the same price.
If you change the drop down, because it comes on a cool beads of rice bracelet, if you can change the strap option.
This is it, right?
Yeah, but if you change the option in the drop down menu right above there, change that to bracelet.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's 12. It's a little bit more expensive, but
Yeah.
but
Well,
still not bad.
no, well,
And it also comes with the rubber strap as an option.
I think it looks great. Like it's a very Doxa-esque strap. Doxa
Yeah,
uses these a lot, right?
it's a Doxa strap. The watch itself is it kind of nods toward those 1960s Rolex GMTs.
Exactly. Yeah, with a bakelite bezel insert. You know, with that's
Yeah,
sapphire or whatever.
yeah. Well, it's a sapphire crystal, which I always prefer. You know, I get the appeal of the acrylic ones, but it always feels worrisome that I'm gonna mess it up.
I was actually talking about the bezel insert. The bezel insert isn't aluminium. It's the bezel insert.
I think it's sapphire.
Yeah, because that's harkens back to the GMTs of old. The Rolexes, the really vintage ones, had bakelite plastic, GMT bezels. So that kind of, but which of course gets scratched and scuffed and chipped and everything. But these in sapphire, they kind of look like bakelite, but last a heck of a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's also 100-meter water resistant screw down crown. It's also the collar style GMT.
Yeah.
And what else to know? The interesting thing is the movement is a soprod movement.
The soprod, yeah, that's something a lot of people forget. There's not just ETA and Solita out there. You know.
Yeah, I think when ETA started, restricting the amount of movements they sell to people outside of Swatch Group, people started having to think outside the box of where to get movements. And then, this is just another option. I don't know if it's any better or worse than ETA or Solita movements, but for nerds such as ourselves, it's nice sometimes to just have something a little bit different, to not have
the usual stuff.
3 GMTs with the exact same movement in it.
I haven't heard anything bad about Soprod. I haven't heard very good things about STP. They say they're not very reliable, but then again, I've got 2 watches with STPs, the 2 Zodiacs, 2 divers.
Yeah.
But well, I don't wear them much, but they haven't given me any trouble, so I hope that's not. It's just maybe. But any mechanical watch can have problems. I mean, even ETAs and Solitas and Rolexes and whatever and Omegas.
Of course.
Yeah, so I wouldn't put too much. And if you got a guarantee, if you got a warranty that's worth its salt, at least a couple of years, you should be okay. If nothing goes wrong in 2 years, no, I don't think there's much can happen to an automatic movement unless you drop it from the 10th floor of a building. But but I don't think. Whoops! I really like this watch. It's really good looking.
Yeah, it's nice. The first batch sold out, I think, pretty quickly, but I think they've got some more available now in all 3 of those colors. I really like the green and the orange options, but it just felt like the gray was probably a better all around choice, and it would get more wear.
You know why they do that? I think they do that because they make 3 color options. Says, oh, I like all 3 of them. I have to buy all 3.
Exactly.
Like the Hodinkee Unimatics. I love all 3 of them. Okay. Oh God, I have to buy all 3 of them. If they only make one, they're not going to sell. If you make, I think it's a marketing ploy to get people to buy more than one. But I think that's. Does it have an adjustable clasp? But does it look like it though? Like micro adjust, on the fly micro adjust. Not at 1000.
I don't have it on me. I don't think it does.
No. It just has like little holes, like the usual, regular micro adjust.
Yeah, but it also, like I said, comes with a Tropic rubber strap. So if you
those are pretty cool.
Feel like taking it off the bracelet, it's a pretty cool option.
I love Tropic straps. They smell of vanilla, and you're like, oh, this smells. They smell so nice. Okay, buddy. So we've gone through the lot. Let's have a look if there are any questions. I doubt it. No questions. I think we can just go back to that. I think we can wrap it up. I'm sorry about your video. Next time we can connect earlier and kind of troubleshoot maybe the video.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've had a lot of
Not your
work
problem.
issues lately, so
no, don't worry, don't worry.
Schedule's tight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on leave today, so thankfully I had a little free time today to set this up, because it does take a bit of setting up. But we can try next time how it goes. And of course, viewers, future viewers, whatever, if you want us to talk something about specific type of watch or a brand or something, we'll do a research, we'll come back, and we'll do another live. So if you want to comment down below on what you'd like to see, I'll take that under advisement and see how it goes. Otherwise, if you can't be bothered to comment, we'll come up with something ourselves. So yeah, pretty much we'll come up with something. So anyway, I think that's it from us. Thank you for watching. We will I'll try, remember, next week I'm dropping the video review of the Maurice Lacroix, so please check that out. If you want to check me out on Instagram, it's time to talk _watches. Derek, you're on Instagram at
Derek Hager, first name, last name.
Derek Hager with 2 A's.
2 A's.
Yeah,
yes.
Derek Hager.
Yeah. A very long A.
Yeah. What's that? Where's that name from? Where's that surname from?
You know, I really don't. I'm told Dutch? German in origin.
Okay, German.
Maybe Dutch. It seems Dutch, but they tell me German. I don't know. Okay. One day I'll figure it out.
Just a curiosity, buddy. Okay, so let's close this off and see you guys very soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.